Good afternoon. This is Jazz. I'm so happy to be connecting with you here today. I'm a spiritual healer, I'm a teacher, and I'm a mystic priestess. And so that means that the work that I do is meant to serve your soul, is meant to serve your well-being. And the work that I do is working with the energetics of your soul, of your vibration, so that everything comes back into alignment so that you can have your best life possible. Today, I want to check in with you. I want to know how you're feeling, what's going on with you. So if you're joining me live, just, pop something up in the comments and let me know how things work, how things are working out for you for this week. So I'll share with you a little bit about how my week has been going. So you know that I've had the habit lately of coming up on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays and talking to you about the different chakras. And I haven't been on Wednesday, and today I'm doing things just a little bit different because I'm going with the flow of what's been going on. So there was a bit of a situation, a personal situation that's been going on for a year and a half. And so a really big stressful part of our lives is a family thing. And so it came to a close on Wednesday. So I was not available on Wednesday to do the live. And last night, my son has his first heartbreak. So his girlfriend just decided to call it quits and is moving school and everything. So my son was really had a heavy heart and a broken heart. And I notice in the Facebook land as well that other people are having a bit of emotional stuff coming up for them as well. So I really just want to check in with you, see where you're at. And if, like me, you either were the one who were nursing your own heart, or if you were taking care of other people and helping them deal with any emotions that may be coming up, the highs and lows, or any more difficulties that were coming up in life. So this is part of the work that I do. I honor all of the emotions as a spiritual person. In my lineage and the way that I do things and the way that I teach, it's okay to have all the emotions. It's more than being okay. We have to have all of these emotions because we are human and we incarnated here on earth to feel all of those emotions. All of those emotions, they're a part of human reality. And we signed up to feel all of those emotions because the emotions have to do with how we feel in our body, right? How do you feel when you love, right? There's that expansion in your body, but there's also the heart palpitations. There's the hormones working through your body. There's all kinds of feelings in niggly tingly places that happen as well, right? And what happens when you're in fear? When there's anxiety, there's a lot of stuff that we feel in our bodies. So when we are spirit and we don't have the body, we do not get the full range of emotions because some things are just impossible to feel when we don't have a body. So we think that, oh my God, it's so cool, all of those emotions coming on. So we sign up for more and we sign up to feel more fear and love and joy and feelings of accomplishment, feelings of disappointment. We want to feel the whole thing. And that's one of the reasons why we incarnate, right? But a lot of spiritual seekers, a lot of spiritual teachers say we have to be happy all the time. We have to be love and light and positive all the time. And I just want to let you know that that's a big myth. And it's not only a big myth, but it's also very disruptive. Because when you do not face those feelings that we judge as being negative, right? But feelings are feelings. In the Akashic Records and the Soul Wars, feelings are feelings, right? Hello, Martin. So, feelings are feelings, and we're meant to have all of them. So when you deny yourself your ability to feel what we can judge as negative, you deny yourself your full range of possibility as a human being. So just let that sink in for a bit. If you never feel anger, if you never feel pain, if you never feel sorrow, if you never feel grief, you're denying yourself a huge potential as a human being. You deny yourself some soul growth, some soulful moments. And everybody who's been through grief and pain and all of that, you know that by going deep, deep within yourself, there are treasures, there is strength, there is resilience. There's always something to find when you heal from these experiences that you would never have found if you're always happy and love and light, right? A lot of the people who say that we have to be happy, love, and light all the time, they use spirituality as a bypass for not feeling what is true for them, what's their truth. And honest to goodness, I see a whole lot of Reiki masters out there. I see a whole lot of spiritual practitioners who are not healed, who do not look at their shadow side, and who have a whole lot of anger. But the anger is so internalized and so masked with that smile of everything's okay and everything is love and light. We're just going to throw more love on that and it's going to be great. That is not the truth of the human reality. It is not in my books, not in my lineage, and not if you work with me. If you work with me, we'll have to be completely honest about how you feel and what's going on with you. And it's perfectly okay if you're angry. Some of my clients get angry with me once in a while, and that's beautiful because it means that there's a healing happening. That means that the ego has some resistance. There's something to say. There's something that doesn't want to be looked at right now. There's a pain, and I know that the fear comes up as a protection mechanism, so I don't take it personally. So by working with me, you have permission to be all of you in all of your emotions, with all of the joy and also all of the sorrow, because if you've been following any of the videos, everything is in polarity and you can't really have one without the other. It's, it's a full spectrum, and we're here to experience all of that spectrum. So how is that landing with you? How is that myth of being happy all the time? How is that myth of needing to be even, on an even keel all the time? How has that played out in your life? There are some clients who come to me and they say, well, they have grief because someone dear to them, a spouse, a child, has passed away, and they're feeling intense grief. And it's been some time ago, and they say, well, I should be over this pain already. I should be over the sadness already. And I'm not. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I'm feeling sadness. What's wrong with me? Some days I'm happy, some days I'm sad. Now, if you do have some chemical imbalances, please, by all means, go see a professional, go see a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and get what you need to get your body chemicals and your brain chemicals back into balance, right? But if this is something that can be dealt more on the spiritual field, what I have to say to you is you don't have to be on an even keel all the time. In fact, it is not healthy for you to be on an even keel all the time. And that's one thing that I told my son last night as he's going through his first heartbreak, because he's the optimist. He's the one who brings people up. And he was sharing with me that he was a little bit afraid to go back to school today because he would not be happy. And he doesn't want to be the one who's unhappy because he doesn't want to bring people down. So I had to explain to him that it's okay to not be the happy person all the time. It's okay to reach out for help. And I just shared my gratitude that he was able to share with me. And that it's okay if other people pick you up every once in a while. It's part of being human, and everyone taking their turn every once in a while to cheer one other up. It's not healthy to be always happy, especially if it's a bypass, and especially if you use that as an excuse to just stuff things down, because that's not healthy. If you were like me when I was in my 20s and had not learned how to express my emotions yet, it feels really heavy right here, right? And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done to release that weight. I used to call that my cork, like a wine stopper but to me was the emotions that could not come up from the heart. So that needs to be released, because you are part of nature. You're beautiful, you're a soul, and you're embodied, and you're part of this 3D world, of this nature. Look at the ocean. Is she calm all the time? Is the ocean on an even keel all the time? No, she isn't. Look at the wind. Is the wind always calm and even all the time? He's not. Right? Look at all the elements: earth, air, fire, water. Is that always calm and even all the time? It's not. Look at the stars. Are they always calm, cool, collected, even all the time? No. Some of them explode, some of them implode, so they're in motion. You are part of nature. You are made of stardust. You are made of this earth. All the elements, earth, air, fire, water, are within you. Why would you not be allowed to have those moments like the earth does? You have all the rights. You have that possibility. It's within you to feel all those feels. So in anything that you're going on in your life, I want you to really give yourself permission to feel everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. But just feel everything. Give yourself permission to feel all of that. And if you need help, reach out. I'll help you work through that. I'll give you some tools. I'll teach you, and I will love you, and we'll connect you with Reiki, and we will use some vibrational tools such as crystals, the singing bowls, a drum, to bring you back into an awareness of who you are, so that you can feel all of those feelings, but you don't move in, right? You can feel it and not be stuck there, because the being stuck in that negative feeling is what creates a whole lot of chaos in our life. My own experience with grief, when I was having the miscarriage so many years ago, is that when I gave myself permission to fully grieve and to really cry the ugly cry, and the anger and everything else that came with the grief, and because it's more than that, right? Having a miscarriage is also the definition of who you are, who you want to be as a mother, and some dreams that cannot happen. But when I gave myself permission to truly feel everything, then I was able to overcome it. So there's still some pain every once in a while. There's still some sadness every once in a while. And yet I grew a whole lot as a person, because I gave myself permission to fully feel. And the intensity of that process was shorter and intense, as opposed to dragging on for years and years and years. Does that make sense? How does that relate to you? So I see Martin is here. Colleen, hey, how are you? So let me know how that resonates with you. So, and tell me, how are you right now? Are you in a happy place right now? And if so, that's great. And if you need help to move through anything, just let me know. If there's something that I can help you with, you can pop that in the comments. Or if you don't want to air that on Facebook, which, I totally get. I'm an introvert, so I would not want my stuff to be on Facebook either. Then let's book a chat. All right. So let's spend a half hour and let me know what's going on with you. And I guarantee you'll feel a whole lot better after a half hour of chatting with me. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover with you today, is that being happy all the time, being love and light all the time is actually a myth. And it's a myth that can be very destructive, because that means that you're not getting the full experience of humanity, of who you're here to embody. Yeah, you're in a funk today, Colleen? Yeah, a lot of people are. A lot of people are. Right now, by the way, the moon is void of course. So that means that the moon is not in any signs, and it moved void of course at about 10:10 Eastern time this morning. It's going to be void of course until I think 6:37-ish tonight. And after that, it's going to move into Taurus, which is a more grounding energy. But right now, the moon is in that in-between state. So if you're very sensitive, if you're very much empathic, then you're just feeling like, where am I? Who am I? What am I supposed to feel? Things are not quite as they appear. But this is a perfect time when the moon is void of course to take your mask off and to really, to journal. How do I really feel? And who am I really? So, because there's no other links to any other zodiac sign, so you can be really true to yourself. So as hard as it can be for some people to be really true to yourself, because it's not something that we do a whole lot in our society. We like to put the mask on. We like to say I'm happy all the time. We like to say I'm positive all the time. I'm optimist all the time. I'm this, I'm that all the time. And that's kind of the image of who you are. But just question that today. Is that really who I am? And am I giving myself permission to be all of me in the whole range of emotion? Do I give myself permission to be all of me? And if you can't give yourself permission to be all of you, why is that? Where are you not feeling safe to be all of you? So just journal on that and see how that feels in your body and where you're feeling that, because you're probably feeling that a whole lot in your root chakra, that safety, security, or you might be feeling that in your lower belly. And that is the sacral chakra, and it's about belonging. You might feel that in the pit of your stomach as well, and that is your power center. So you might be feeling very much disempowered, very much afraid of being you. Or you might be feeling it in your heart as well. So oftentimes it's those chakras who are the most affected. So just check in and see, where are you feeling that in your body, that it's not okay to be all of you with all the highs and all the lows. So check in on that. That's your homework for today, is just journal on that. Do I give myself permission to be really me? And if not, why? And just see where that brings you in terms of your healing journey. All right. So calling, you say that makes sense. And so many friends are in pain and you're exhausted to be everyone's go-to. Yes. So give yourself permission to say no, and to have really clear boundaries. Boundaries are good. Boundaries are healthy. So yeah, and even the strongest oak needs to be fed. Absolutely. And so feed yourself today. So do something really good for you. A really good salt bath, perhaps. I've had the smudge going on today as well, because that's the spiritual practice that I really enjoy. I have my essential oils today. So if you're feeling really sad, if you're feeling in a funk, some essential oils that can help you. There's frankincense, that's really good. And I would go for the woodsy one. So whether it's cedar or arborvitae or the pine, fir, so anything that is kind of tree scent or earthy scent, that is going to help move through any grief or any pain. So essential oil is really good for that, because those oils, they go through the nose or through the skin and into the system, and they have an effect on hormone productions and an effect on the brain within about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's really good to reach for that essential oil as soon as you feel that funk coming. So if you need help with selecting oils, again, just let me know, and I will help you. I do work with doTERRA, so that is just another area that I can help you with. So good. So if wood scents speak to you, burn incense or use essential oils, and it's going to help you just come back to center. And or if you can go out for a walk, can't smell much of the tree or the pines right now because it's cold, but I think at the bird sanctuary in the furthest part, where there's more cedars and pine, there is a little bit of that scent still of the pine tree. So go hug a tree, and this grounding process is going to help move through those emotions. All right. So again, just to kind of recap. So being happy all the time, being positive all the time, being light and love all the time, that's a myth. It is not healthy, and it is not spiritual. Not in my books. Being spiritual means embracing the whole of your potential. And that's one thing, that's one of the pillars of Mystic Priestess School, is to master your potential. And to be able to master your potential, you have to be able to look into deep within yourself and to embrace that darkness, the night, the emotions that we disqualify, but to embrace them in a way that's very constructive. So that's one of the pillars of the work that I do. And also the way of the goddess. So the spirituality that I really work with. So looking at the goddess archetypes, looking at the mythology, and mythology viewed through the zodiac as well. The way of the goddess is about honoring the human experience with the full gamut of emotions. So if you're still here, if you're working with me, it must be something that you subscribe to. Because if you want to be love and light all the time, you can do that kind of over there, because here we do honor love and light, and also we acknowledge that we are more than just day, right? There's always a duality on our planet, so we wouldn't know what day is if we didn't know what night was. We wouldn't know what summer is if we didn't really know what winter was, right? We wouldn't know what dry is if we wouldn't know what rainy or wet is. So we all learn through contrast, and it's the same thing with us and our emotions. We learn through our contrast. We don't know what love fully is or what joy fully is if we never look into the flip side of that. So, and that is the way of the goddess. That is the wheel of the year. That is in all the mythologies. If you look at all the goddesses, they have lived through grief and separation and anxiety and death and everything. They've lived through it all. That's why they can really guide us when it's our turn to go through anger and grief and all of that. The goddesses can guide us because they know, because we can relate to them, because they have that human experience in the extremes at times, so that when we know that extreme, it can help center us and bring us back to where we need to be as a soul. So those are the key points I wanted to make with you today. I'm noticing there are more comments, but I need to scroll down. So Colleen Pine, and you're very, very welcome. Be well. Remember that you can reach out and we can talk for whatever feelings and emotions that are coming up for you. I guarantee you, you will not be too much for me. I will not be taking your stuff on. A lot of people are afraid when they come to me. They don't want to open up because they're afraid that what they're going through is so dark. They judge themselves as being so, on the dark side, and they don't want to open up to that because they're afraid that I'll take them on, or that I'll be feeling in the funk because they're in the funk. So I just want to tell you that I'm kind of an expert doing this for about 20 years, right? And I've been in the pits of darkness and I've been out, so I can be a guide. So let yourself be fully you. Take the mask off and your healing is going to take a quantum leap. So hopefully you can trust me and open up and tell me where you are, the truth of where you are, because I'll know if it's not the truth, but I'll also know if you're not ready to see the truth. But the goal of the practice is to really go to the truth and acknowledge the truth so that you can really grow as a person. So let's talk about that. Don't be afraid. And I've seen so much doing this work for the past 10 years or so. So not a whole lot is going to surprise me anymore. So don't let your ego tell you that that you're too much this or not enough that, or that it's too scary, or that you should not open up, or that you should not heal. Don't let your ego trick you into that. The way to healing is through the feelings, through the emotions. The way of the goddess is in the beingness. So let me know how you are. Let's talk about that. And let's get some healing underway. This weekend, the moon is in Taurus, which is an earth sign. It's a sign of taking care of ourselves. It's a sign for taking care of our quality of life. And so if you put all that in perspective, when we have the highs and lows of the emotions, when we have the heartbreak, it doesn't influence a quality of life. So again, this is a time to heal so that your quality of life can really increase. Does that make sense? So I'm giving you a huge, huge hug from my heart to yours. And we'll talk soon. So we'll resume next week with the crown chakra. And in the meantime, be well and know that my love is with you. And if you need extra help, remember to call upon the goddess, and she will be there and stand by your side and remind you that whatever you're going through is normal and it's okay and it's human and it's beautiful and it'll change. It will not stay there forever. All right. Bye for now.